Morning, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Robin Cannings. I'm the Marketing Manager at Storengy UK. I'm here to talk to you today about our products for storage years 2021 and 2022. But before I do that, just a reminder, as Mike has just given you, that we will be holding a Q&A at the end of this. So if you can put forward any questions as I'm talking through the live question feed, then we will pick them up at the end of mine and Alex's presentations and try and answer everything we can. If you've got any questions and you feel that, don't worry about if your question may be answered during the presentation. Pump the questions in, ask us now, and we will happily repeat later on if we need to. So just to get us started, I thought we'd give you a quick update on where we are on development of the plant in 2020. Obviously, COVID has had an impact, but we're pleased to say that we now have all 20 caverns up running. That gives us 400 MCM of storage capacity. On the above surface installation, we've got 2 dehydration trains, additional compressors, and we should complete the commissioning of phase 2, which is the end of this project, at the end of this month. Now, this hasn't been a small project by any means. We've spent £0.6 billion to put this thing together. There's been no public funding. This has all been ENGIE and Storengy taking the risk to put a flexibility asset on the market. And what it's left us with is the UK's largest and newest gas storage site. Now, admittedly, gas storage market hasn't been great at times, so we have had to write down, as many people have in this industry, but we're still focused on delivering the best products that we can to give you the most flexibility in the market and hopefully meet all your requirements. So to that end, here's the update on our products. So this is a slide that some of you will have seen before or very similar to it. This is a description of our 30/30 product. So what is a 30/30 product? Basically, you have a chunk of capacity, so in this example, 300 gigawatt hours, and on any given day, you can flow up to a 30th of that in injection or withdrawal. Our site's connected to the National Transmission System, so direct to the MBP, you can flow your gas off the network into the storage or back onto the network from the storage. And we do that with a very fast cycle site, so we've got 1 hour scheduling. We have no restrictions in terms of the stock level, so on any day of the year, assuming there is no maintenance, then you can flow what it says on the tin, effectively. We keep our costs as low as we can, and I'll come on to that later on. And we don't limit the number of flow reversals that you've got. So as you can see from the graph in the bottom left, that's an actual flow from a customer. They start an injection and then reversed into a withdrawal by the end of the day. And that's the flexibility that we're offering on this site. As I mentioned, maintenance, we keep that maintenance as low as we can. And this year we're looking at 15 real days planned maintenance and 5 days unplanned maintenance. And that's applied across all contracts. Nobody gets more, nobody gets less. And where possible, we minimize it by using single direction. So if we only need to reduce injection, we will only reduce injection. And finally, I will spend a little bit of time at the end of this presentation to introduce you to our customer interface. But we built this together with customers, and we feel it's a real asset to our products. So what changes have we got this year? Because I wouldn't be standing here if it was just a 30/30 product again. So we've now come under the new tariff regime, the GCR, Gas Charging Review, implemented on the 1st of October, and that's having an impact on everyone. But to sort of minimize the impact on our customers, we know that if we transfer you our legacy capacity, then you are at risk of the revenue recovery charge. So what we propose to do this year is to implement virtualization of our entry capacity. So what we've done in the past is, when you've asked to withdraw gas, we would withdraw gas to our connection point, at which point it's transferred to yourselves and you would move it onto the MBP and then move it onto whatever destination you have in mind. What we propose to do now is Storengy UK will move your gas to the NBP and transfer it there. At that point, you can then move it where you like, but this will remove that risk of the revenue recovery charge. There are a few benefits. We should be able to match your delivery nominations, warn if there's a mismatch, and massively reduce any overruns. In fact, it should totally remove overruns. But on the exit side, that will remain as normal. Okay. Second change. So this is around the costs. So right now, our costs for storage year 2020 are 0.5 pence per therm for a full cycle, so to inject and withdraw. These costs are not revenue based. They're not intended to generate revenue. They are the costs for us to move the gas in and out of the site, averaged over a year, admittedly, but we try and keep them to, as close as we can, the exact cost that we're spending. So what we're proposing to do this year is try and reduce these costs. We don't have a final figure now, but what we have got on screen is the proposed figures. So what we would like to do is try and reduce these costs to about 0.4 pence per therm. Now that sounds like a small quantity. It should have an impact, but obviously we've got the gas charging review impact as well. And as you can see from the charts, I can see them ahead of me, so I shall not point. As you can see from the charts that we've got on the slide, the National Grid exit capacity cost, so the cost to inject into our site, is now at 0.3 pence per therm, pretty much. That's a significant increase, and it puts us at 0.7 pence per therm, and that's with the 50% storage discount. Unfortunately, as you know, we haven't yet, or as you may know, we put forward a modification for an 80% storage discount. Now, what I've got on screen now is the exact same slide, but with the figures under that 80% storage discount. And we're hoping Ofgem will approve this discount. And as you can see from these figures, a reduction in the variable costs, as we've mentioned, plus the 80% storage discount should put us around the same level that we are right now. Unfortunately, we don't have any timescale on that, but as soon as we do, we will share. But hopefully Ofgem will make that decision shortly. Okay, so in terms of additional capacity services, we've got three that I'd like to mention today. The first one's ULI, which is interruptible capacity services. So this is where you as a storage customer can effectively borrow capacity from other customers. If another customer is not using it, then you can pay a small charge to allow you to use that capacity via nomination. It's interruptible, so if that customer that you're effectively borrowing from increases their nomination, then you will be cut back, and you will only be charged on the total amount that's flowed through the day. The second service that I wanted to mention was the unbundled capacity. So this is a firm service. You can log into our commercial system, click and book the quantity that you need, and it is immediately added to your rights for that day. But because of this, that quantity and price is fixed. So once you've taken it, you can't hand it back. But this is quite a popular service, particularly on those busy days on the market when additional capacity comes in handy. And the final one to mention is the operating margins service. So this is a bespoke service, and it allows you to physically respond to National Grid's operating margins call if they make one. It does require an additional contract, but if you are interested in that, I would ask you to get in contact with us in advance of the auctions to make sure you're comfortable with what that entails. Finally, as I mentioned, we'll come on to the customer interface, just to give you a quick overview of what it provides. It's obviously a web-based system. It works on both mobile and web browsers. It allows you immediate confirmation of your nominations. If your nomination doesn't fit within your rights for that day, it will suggest what the best you can do is. It allows this quick booking of additional capacities, and there's reporting in there to allow you to see exactly how much you are spending on any given day. So that was a very quick overview. We're more than happy for you to come back to us and ask any questions. Please fire your questions into the live question facility as well, and we'll try and get them answered at the end of Alex's presentation. But for now, I'll hand over to Alex to talk you through our auctions.